back to the Jill Lublin Show. So excited to see you. And you will be thrilled you're here because today we have a wonderful guest, Deepak Saini. And he is a smart business guy. And I'm sure you're going to get some great tips for how to do your business quickly. And Deepak, welcome.
Thanks, Jill. I'm really appreciative of being here. I'm really excited for this interview.
Yes, and I am glad you're here. I know you have a history of you changed your business in a really short time. And I know people are going to want to know that. So I want to just dive right in, if I may, and find out how did you change your business so quickly? What'd you do?
I'll be very brief, very backstory. So I started out CPA, became a health coach, did that for many years. And then going through my own transformation, always trying to up level myself and grow myself, which I think all business owners should do. I took a course for my own sort of professional development. And it was just, I had this light bulb moment over the course of a weekend. It was a very intense 8-day program, but it was that second weekend where it all came to head. And it literally, I changed the focus of my business. So how can this relate to your audience here, the business owner? Essentially, the concept I'm trying to share and what I share with my own clients is to become who you want to be, whether that is in your business, in your personal life, in your relationships. You have to do that inner work. You have to become the best version of yourself. And oftentimes we don't want to get into the muck. We don't want to get into our own pits, the stories we've told ourselves, the stories that our parents have told us, or society, or the media, or whatever, because it's uncomfortable. And we don't, naturally, we don't want to be uncomfortable. So I like to work with people to really get into that uncomfort, their pit of despair, as I like to say, so that you can come out better for it. And then how does this translate to business? How does it translate for my business is more confidence, how you show up, not procrastinating, not having that imposter syndrome anymore. So you can actually ask for the sale, ask for what you're actually worth, what your offering's worth. And it's a complete 180, 360, whatever you want to call it, when you've unburdened yourself these negative emotions or these limiting beliefs that were probably instilled with you when you were a child that many people don't even realize. So that was huge for me, and it's huge for people that I work with as well. And it can be huge for anyone listening as well.
Well, I obviously think that's important. You did this 8 days is really fast, right? So what would be the number one thing you'd say to people? Answer this question first about yourself, about those listening. What would you tell people? Where should they start?
There's a lot of professional development type of work out there. People have done affirmations and all these sorts of things, and nothing's wrong with any of those. I think there are certain modalities that are a little bit stronger. Again, working with the unconscious mind, right? Many things that we do consciously, they're not bad. They end up being fleeting. At least they're for me. I'll be really all gung ho for a couple days, maybe a week or two if I'm really into it, but really working with the unconscious mind, that 90% of our brain. We've all heard this before. 90% of your brain, you're untapped. But what does it really mean? We don't really know, most people. That our unconscious mind, really tapping into that, really rewiring our brain for success. That's where it can really have that lasting effect. And I could share examples. I know we don't have time of myself, or like I haven't done things in over a year now because I did that work myself. And again, it doesn't mean you're not going to procrastinate. It doesn't mean you're not going to have imposter syndrome. We all do to some level. It's just how you show up, go forward, is a radically different. So yes, I would really say, like, look into what you need to do. People intuitively know they're not where they're at. They've hit a plateau. They're always having those difficult conversations. Why did I react that way again? If you're having these thoughts to yourself, there's some work that we need to do on the inside.
I love that. So what was your biggest shift and change?
One for me was actually sort of a physiological one. So I was someone, again, trying to eat really healthy after overcoming my journey, which we don't have time to get into here. I would love to eat peanut butter, and I could like eat peanut butter to the point of making myself sick. So with one of my colleagues, we basically did a technique where I, at the unconscious mind level, reprogrammed my desire to have peanut butter to something I would never eat. I haven't touched peanut butter in over a year. So that's one thing that's a personal, but from a business point of view, which is to your audience, that imposter syndrome, again, it's not like I never have it, but it's different. It's like a higher level. So I have progressed. Procrastination is another one. Of course, I'm going to procrastinate. We all do, but instead of I'm not going to do something because, as an example, making that follow-up call to a potential client, they might say no. So I'm just not going to call them, because if I never talk to them and they never say no, I don't have to take that fear of rejection. Yeah, we all have that, but instead of weeks or maybe never calling them, now it's like hours. You stew on that for a bit. Nope, snap out of it and you make that call. So just these little minor things, again, it's not like they never happen to us. It's how we show up, go forward, and how long we are stuck in our own muck. And again, take it from weeks or months even to hours, maybe days.
That's phenomenal. And you're right. I'm sure procrastination and imposter syndrome is something that many people suffer from. And I just want to say to all of you, don't be fooled by those of us out there who seem to have it all together. We all have, I include me, our things. And thank you, Deepak, for sharing vulnerably what yours is. Although I must admit, why is peanut butter bad for you? I'm wondering.
So obviously there's the healthy peanut butters that have no preservatives and all that kind of stuff, and they separate and you get that oil and you're like, I don't like those. They're okay, but I don't like them. And so like, I'm again growing up with peanut butter jelly sandwiches. We didn't have a ton of money. That was a staple. Commercial peanut butter is actually full of tons of sugar and a lot of these other stuff that would again make my stomach hurt. Plus, again, peanuts are actually a legume, right? They're not a nut, actually, they're a legume. And I'm actually very sensitive to legumes. So again, I can eat it. I love it. It smells yummy, tastes yummy, but it would make me feel ill. So I'm just like, you know what? I decided I'm just going to like eliminate this. And again, I haven't had peanut butter in over a year.
That is awesome. Thank you for that clarification. And I know
Great
it's
question.
most people don't realize it's so full of sugar for the commercial. So if you're going to eat peanut butter, please eat healthy, the healthy kinds where they actually maybe even grind it in front of you. Wow, what a concept.
Or almond butter or some other kind of nut butter.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. So in terms of, you did this 8-day transformational work for you, and now are you helping people change their business in a weekend? We talked about the first thing they should do, but really part of me is going, well, how do I change my business in a weekend? Can you address that?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, it was an 8-day intensive course that I was doing training. It was so profound for myself, as I've kind of alluded to, that I decided I have to incorporate this in my business. So did get trained in these modalities, and actually just upcoming here from the time of our recording a couple of weeks from now, I'm going to get my master's level training in that as well. So yes, not necessarily maybe a weekend, but this work that we're talking about, that inner game work, can be done in less than 30 days. And that's actually what we try to do. Again, we're rewiring the brain. We like to say we're cracking the brain open at the unconscious level, and we want to do that work. So very quickly, we try and do that. So when I work with a business coaching client, of course, we get everything up front. What's your goals? Who's your avatar, et cetera. But then right away, we come in with this inner game work so that everything tactical, whatever marketing strategies, et cetera, are going to be so more effective once you've done that inner game work. So again, yes, we try and do it all in 30 days. Probably not over a weekend. That was my aha moment that weekend, but very, very quickly we can change their mindset around how they approach their business.
And I think that's really important for all of us to know, is that change can happen, and it can happen quickly with guidance, with support, usually, frankly. I had a coach who used to say to me, or actually one of my mentors, the mind is a dangerous neighborhood. Don't go there alone.
That's
So
great. I love that quote.
feel free to steal it. But this is so important that we have support, and I love the fact that you're giving people real support to have them make a difference in the lives of others. Because I think as we transform and unpeel, as I like to think of it, different parts of us, and then show up differently, you're going to get better and better results, right? So that when you make that call that you didn't want to make, sales do happen. And to understand, one of the things, especially for me as a speaker, listen, I get nervous before I go and speak. It may not show up because I know how to handle it and manage it now.
Right.
But I think we all have our stuff, and it's such a beautiful thing that you're helping people change their business just in a quicker time frame, 30 days or
Yeah,
less.
Jill, if I could just share really quickly, and again, not that I have it all figured out or anything like that, but last year after I did this work for myself, I had one of my best years, not my best year ever, but one of my best years from sales. And what I've seen with my clients, just having that confidence. There's some tactical things, of course, but having that confidence to ask for the sale, how you show up on the sales call, we're seeing a 50% uptick. So again, for everyone's model, whether you charge something $1,000 for a program or you have a high ticket program, whatever, just a few percentage points on converting your sales easily can 5-10x the investment of doing that work. So it can be quite profound for sure.
I love that. So let me ask you, what's the first thing you do in the day to set yourself up for success?
The first thing I do in my day, great. It's not, well, I drink water. That's the first thing I do when I get up, water, brush my teeth. My dog is very needy. So I take him out, and so he can do his business. I get the coffee going, all that. I also oil pull is one of my other morning practices. We don't have to go down that path if nobody knows what that is. But then I get it, just get in my office here where I'm sitting right now, and just take a moment, a couple of deep breaths. It's not a full meditation. I do that later in the day, but just a couple of deep breaths, get myself grounded, so I can attack my day, attack the emails that have come in overnight, et cetera, and just be not in a fight or flight, be in a nice parasympathetic state.
Nice. So you actually do your meditation later. You don't start your day with that. That's interesting.
I used to, but we have to evolve as our lifestyle changes, as our kids get older. We didn't have a dog before, now we do have a dog, and all that sort of thing. I have a infrared sauna at home, so I like to do my meditation in my sauna, and that ends my day. So when I end my work day, whatever time that is, 5:30, whatever, I go right in my sauna, do my meditation before dinner, and it just ends my day off. That lets me process everything that happened. So I used to do my meditation first thing in the morning. Just life circumstances, we got to be adaptable, right?
Yeah, absolutely adaptable. But I love the fact that you're presencing this. And the point is, even those few deep breaths help, right? To center and to set you on your track, so to speak. I love
Yes,
that. Thank you for
absolutely.
that.
Oh, you're welcome.
So I know you have a wonderful way that people can get in touch with you and have created a free gift for us. Would you share that?
Absolutely. I was kind of talking a little bit about it before, about how all modalities work, but some take longer than others, some are ineffective. So I've created a free guide. It's called Debunking 5 Personal Development Myths. Again, nothing's wrong with any of these. I just pointed out some of the limitations to some of them, and then maybe how you can overcome those. So I'm happy and I'd love to share that with your audience. I'm sure we'll have the link in the show note there, and just check it out. And maybe something resonates with you, and or gives you at least a different perspective on how maybe you've been doing some things.
Absolutely. We will put it in the show notes, and go ahead and say it verbally if it's easy enough.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
you
Sure. It's Deepak Saini Health. So my first name, last name, health.com/debunking. DE bunking. So deepaksainihealth.com/debunking.
Perfect. Thank you. And yes, we will put it in the show notes. So go check that out. We have such value for you in that. And Deepak, I want to thank you so much for showing up and giving us some great tips for how to move forward in a much better way and overcome some of the things we're all up against. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. And I appreciate being on the show, Joel.
You're welcome. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And it's time for you to tune in to you and actually do some of the things we're talking about here. Appreciate you watching. And please come on for the next show. We'll see you back here again. And in the meanwhile, check out JillLublin.com. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.